Thank you, Wendell. Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with a story from the twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago will receive only a third of the first batch of vaccines allocated to it by the COVAX facility come month end. On Monday, Minister of Health Terence Diasing said they would have had to wait until May to receive the full quota of 100,800 doses originally promised. Instead, he said the ministry decided to take a smaller batch of 33,600 up front. I quote, "We felt at this stage, with things being so uncertain in the global scene, with supply not being able to keep up with demand, that it is better to take this first tranche of the 33,600 and begin our vaccination program," end of quote, Diasing explained. PAHO's 3-month window for the delivery of vaccines was not previously disclosed to the public. In its initial announcement of the allocation on January 30, the ministry said the country was, I quote, allocated an initial 100,000 to 120,000 doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine via the COVAX facility. The first allocation of the COVID-19 vaccine will be delivered to Trinidad and Tobago by March 2021, end of quote. At that time, it was maintained that the doses would arrive by the end of February, early March. Diasing said that the balance of 67,000 would come sometime in April into early May. The 33,600 doses will cost taxpayers approximately $148,000. News from Brazil. A Supreme Court in Brazil has annulled ex-President Luiz Lula da Silva's corruption convictions, opening a path to a possible run for the presidency in 2022. He was convicted following an investigation into a huge bribery scandal dubbed Operation Car Wash, but Supreme Court Justice Edson Fachin said that the court that had convicted Lula had lacked the necessary jurisdiction. The Prosecutor General's office said it would appeal the annulment. In Haiti, the trafficking of children and adolescents along the border shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic has intensified. This is according to Jorge Galvan, a human rights activist in the Dominican Republic. According to Galvan, when these minors are illegally transferred from Haiti, they are exposed to all kinds of abuse from traffickers. He said the problem is dramatic and that an urgent solution must be sought because more and more of them are arriving every day. He said that most of the children and adolescents spend nights in public places or sleep in abandoned buildings. He added that some victims of mafias operating in Haiti in collusion with Dominicans are being exploited and often abused or sold into prostitution networks. News from Bahamas. Prime Minister Dr. Herbert Minnis admitted on Monday that a lack of female representation in Parliament and Cabinet is not good for the country's democracy. The Prime Minister insisted that the Free National Movement (FNM) will be putting forth more women in the upcoming general election. Minnis says the lack of female representation is not good for Bahamas' democracy. He acknowledged that the representation of women in the Cabinet is at a historic low, given the previous number of women serving at that level. There are currently 5 women serving in the House of Assembly, while men make up the remaining 34 parliamentarians. And internationally, the Biden administration will allow hundreds of thousands of Venezuelan migrants in the United States to apply for temporary protection, the Department of Homeland Security announced on Monday. The department said that Venezuelans would be eligible for temporary protected status (TPS) for 18 months until September 2022, a decision that could aid more than 300,000 people, according to a senior U.S. official. Venezuelans will have to show they have been residing in the U.S. continuously as of March 8 to qualify for TPS, the Department of Homeland Security said. The temporary protection gives them the ability to stay in the country and work legally. Colombia also recently offered temporary protection for up to 10 years to nearly 1 million Venezuelan migrants and asylum seekers in that country. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining. Back to you, Wendell.